Recovering from a grave mistake? Almost taking out the Sturgians once and for all? And constantly fighting off 3 different kingdoms that want me dead? This one's violent, so prepare to see me do the unimaginable things that you have to do in wartime to keep your people safe. Today I played 900 Days of Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. No matter how many dinars I traded for, it didn't make up for the feeling of knowing I wasted thousands of influence by mistake. At this point though, I should just stop moping and earn it back. But how? Is there a tournament going on here? In a matter of fact, yes there is. And I joined it as quickly as I possibly could. You know, it's kind of interesting because it seems like we always fall back on these tournaments whenever things get rough. Is that Sylvant? It definitely looks like her. After moving in to get a closer look, I realized that I was having a standoff with my wife. We were shooting arrows back and forth at each other, and honestly, it seemed like neither of us wanted to take each other out. Alright, one of us has to win this thing. She'll forgive me sooner or later. I ended up picking up a shield and then started having a little bit of an axe fight with her. Surprisingly enough, she got shot in the back with an arrow. You're going down. That was a cheap move on your part. Hit him with the 1-2, kick and swing. Works every time. Round 2 and then round 3 both went as smoothly as the first round, but round 4, that was something else. Psych! That was probably the easiest round of the whole tournament. Well, this is awkward. I thought I was gonna get influence from that. I don't really think I did, because I had 30 influence beforehand, and I still now have 30 influence. Well, I guess the tournament didn't work out. Let's try taking out these bandits. Hey, don't run. I just want to talk. I didn't say I was friendly, though. Perfect. We trapped them, defeated them, and we did get 3.5 influence. That's not too bad, surely. We only have to kill around 285 bandit groups to get back up to 1,000 influence. I guess it's good that we're starting now. I kind of went on a bandit hunting spree. Every single group that I saw, I went after and tried to take them out. Ooh, look, another tournament's going on. Alright, so this time I'm gonna pay more attention. 78 influence is what we have at the start of this thing. Where is my opponent? Oh, there he is. I honestly thought I was in here alone for a second. The first round, as expected, went very well. The second round, however, didn't go as smoothly as I thought it would. My teammate ended up getting knocked out when there were still 3 different enemies alive. We didn't need them anyways. I just need to hold off until these 2 other guys get over here and we can do something exactly like that. Perfect. Just need to take you out. There we go. I ended up finishing the next 2 rounds pretty easily. In the third one, my teammate distracted the 2 enemies while I took them out from behind. And in the last one, the 1v1, my opponent didn't even stand a chance. So it is true, I don't even get any influence from these. Well, since I'm in a city, I might as well sell off these items. 48k dinars is not bad. We are literally so close to 2 mil. After I sold off quite a bit of loot, I started upgrading my soldiers because I wanted to make sure that we still had the best around. At this point, I was so determined on passing 2 million dinars. So I headed to the nearby city of Dunglanis and started selling off even more loot. That should do it. 2.07 mil, baby. Now that we finally have some downtime, I feel like we can finally head back to the Vlandian lands to recruit some more troops. This has to be a joke, right? The Aserai declared war on us once again. Of course, I can never catch a break. Honestly though, I think I know exactly how we can win this war. It probably won't be that hard, as long as we stay on the offense for most of it. Wait, what the heck? Only one party is available to join the army? Oh, somebody already raised the Vortian banner. Well, that's kind of annoying. I wanted to do it. Well, I guess they'll just have to stay on defense while I go out and attack the enemy parties alone. Honestly, props to you, Gavin, for being so eager to serve the Kingdom of Vortia. Alrighty, into the lands of the Aserai. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more. If you want to get more involved in the Vortide community, check out the Discord linked down below. There is some really cool lore that brings some of the videos together, and a cool leveling system. Join now. So it looks like they're rallying at that army right there, so we could probably cut off any incoming parties. Let's see, 158 right there. I just need to somehow corner this guy. Looks like the caravan's getting scared away too. Sweet, okay, cutting left worked better than I thought. I probably could have sent my troops to fight the battle without me, but I wanted to make sure that we were minimizing our losses, and honestly, I'm not sure that they would do such a great job at that without me. So here I am setting up our formations. I set out ahead of my army to take out the enemy cavalry. At this point, I was such a professional at doing this, as it was my secret strategy. It seemed like the Aserai knew this though. They didn't even bother with attacking me and went straight for my battle lines. I guess this is the third or fourth time that we're fighting them. At this point, I really had no choice but to tell my troops to engage. To further turn the tides of the battle, I used my horsemen to attack the enemy archers in their backline. We got this battle in the bag at this point. I don't even need to try anymore. Too easy. So it looks like we prevented the Aserai army from growing by 200. That's pretty good. In order to take out the next 500 though, I'm going to need to call in Gavin's army, and recruit some prisoners as well as upgrade my own troops. Uh-oh. That's another 200 troops heading over to the Aserai army. Alright, I just need to cut them off here. No way. How did he even get past me? You have got to be kidding me. On top of what just happened, I realized that one of my armies was completely getting destroyed by the Aserai army. Things are not looking good. Hopefully I could pull something off here. I really needed a miracle at this point. We were outnumbered by a significant amount. 206 to be exact. Well, here goes nothing. Looks like they're being a lot less aggressive this time. Maybe I could actually get some kills on the enemy cavalry. After a little while of picking at them, the enemy cavalry finally decided to commit to my front lines. Of course, in return, I sent my cavalry directly at them. This is going to be a good battle. That's 1, 2, 3. Sheesh, I'm killing it. Literally. My troops are taking forever. I'm one of the only people in the center of all of these enemies. It's time to focus in on the backline. Honestly, it seems like a lot of the other factions underestimate sending your horsemen at the enemy archers. Pretty much no one ever does it, except us, which I guess is kind of a good thing when you think about it. Time to take in some new prisoners. Wow, that is a lot. Oh my gosh, it keeps going and going. It appeared that most of the Vortian parties had been wiped out. I can't rally an army now. It looks like I'm gonna have to wait till everybody's healed up. Uh-oh, looks like we're being chased by 2 armies. Now they're scared. As I locked on to one of the Aserai parties that was just chasing me, I decided to check the war stats. Things were looking pretty good. We inflicted more casualties than they did, but we were still outnumbered by around 2,000. I ended up traveling near the Vlandian lands, so I could disband my party. Alrighty, let's get some more parties going. Varric, you're definitely in. Sylvan, I guess you're back in, even though I just took you back to my party not too long ago. And I guess that'll be it for now. Alrighty, we're back on the road now, making some more dinars. And recruiting some troops. Let's get back out there. I'm coming for you, Aserai. Yo, how have I never met this Porev guy? He's literally in my kingdom. While I was heading back to the war zone, I decided to upgrade some of my perks. Loyalty or prosperity? I'm going with the loyalty. Well, this one's not a hard decision. Plus 1 party size for each leadership point above 250. That's pretty crazy. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't read that last one. In addition to leveling up some perks on the way, I also assigned Ellis as the next party leader. It seems like our grand army will be once rebuilt again. When I made it into the enemy lands, I started sieging one of their castles. They only had 156 defenders at it, which was nothing. And of course, the Sturgians declare war on me. This has gotta be a joke. I can't even take out the Aserai now because I have to defend against 2 different kingdoms. Well, time to go across the map again. Nice. For once I don't even have to assist. Let the Sturgian crusades begin. You guys are going down this time. Alright, I'm finally here, guys. Let's see what's going on. Okay, the situation honestly isn't looking the best. At this point, I decided that the smart decision would be to make peace with the Aserai and fight out this war with the Sturgians. It looks like we need to wait 2 more days though for that to actually work out. It's time to improvise, for 2 days at least. The Sturgians have a slight fault in their attack strategy. Not all of them are grouped onto that castle. So if I take out the surrounding enemies, then maybe once we get some reinforcements, I'll be able to take out that 800. Alrighty, let's do this, team. It appeared that the enemies started their siege on the castle, so I knew that now was the only time that I would actually be able to do anything. I joined in to help fight off the enemies. Let's hope this goes well. We're outnumbered heavily. Per usual, I made my way over to the nearest catapult. I then started flinging some explosive ammo at the battering ram that was approaching our gate. Ooh, that wasn't the battering ram, but I'll take it. After quite a little bit, the Sturgian forces brought their ram directly in front of our gate. I unfortunately wasn't able to take it out quickly enough. And you guys just made the biggest blunder ever, lining up right below the ladders. I'm honestly pretty set, because I have all of this explosive ammunition left over, and I should be able to take out the horde of enemies underneath the ladders with it. After a while of ramming, the enemies broke down our front gate. A swarm of Sturgian troops then swarmed into the airlock. Too bad I don't have any more explosive ammo. They were honestly putting up a pretty good fight. My troops, however, were just more prepared though. They waited for all of the enemies to pour out of the gatehouse and would slaughter them by the dozens. Yo, that would honestly be terrifying, just waiting to either get shot by a crossbow or hit by a sword. That's right, get running. The Sturgians ran away and gave up. I, however, was able to capture them all and take them as prisoners. The castle's secured. I guess until next time, everyone always attacks Uthelaim Castle for some reason. Hey, it's definitely been over 2 days by now. It's time to make peace with the Aserai. And that worked like a charm. Well, this just turned into a 1v1. And the thing is, these Sturgians aren't good at fighting one-on-ones. I bet you from here on out, it's gonna be a full sweep. I restarted with my initial plan, taking out as many Sturgians as I possibly could. At one point, I even had to head back to Sianon to sell some of my loot because we were carrying way too much. Honestly, that's a pretty good problem to have. 41k, not bad. I then ended up leaving the castle and came across a pretty large army of 500 Sturgians. It looked like they were heading back towards the castle of Uthelaim. Classic. I then rallied as many troops as I possibly could, until we outnumbered the huge Sturgian party. Alright, once we get this last group of 90 in, we should be able to attack. Get 'em, boys, get 'em. Let's go. Jeez, 51 influences, not bad. Since the enemies already attacked twice, I figured that it was my turn. So I rallied the troops and started heading into the Sturgian lands. Or at least, what was left of them. 319. That's a bit concerning, I'm not gonna lie. As long as they're just camping out here, we should be good though. I pulled a little switch and bait on that party of 319. I went away from the castle and then kinda cut them off from it, so they weren't able to retreat there. Once they had nowhere to run, I swept in and took them all out. That was pretty brutal. I'm gonna go ahead and disband the army so everyone can recover a bit. Well, what do we have here? The armies and people of Sturgia are exhausted from the conflict with Vortide and have given up the fight. That's their problem. They shouldn't have started the war. That peace proposal is definitely a clear indicator that we're probably gonna win the war against the Sturgians. You think if they were winning the war, they would ask for peace? I don't think so. I swear, all of these nations have to be plotting against me. Every single time that I'm about to defeat a kingdom, another one declares war on me. Well, it seems like I have to take out as many Sturgian castles as I can before the Khuzaits attack. Mazhaddon Castle. This one looks as good as any. My troops started building the siege camp, and I made them do it as quickly as possible. I also had them start constructing some siege equipment. My plan was to take out the walls before sending any troops in. That way we minimize our losses and are able to go for the next castle right away. Another peace proposal. This time it's 100k less than the last one. It seemed like the Sturgians were getting even more desperate, especially since I was about to take over another one of their castles. It honestly seemed like they were offering all of their dinars in the proposals, just because the first one was 1.4 mil and this one was 1.3 mil. The only two logical reasons that would make it go down are that they would be winning the war, which isn't the case, or they just don't have enough money to offer the same amount as last time. Well, this is awkward. For them, of course. Oh, let's go. The walls are about to break. That's one, that's two. Alright, let's get them, boys. Nice. We only lost 49 troops out of 589. That was probably one of the easiest sieges I've ever had to do. I'm assuming it's because the Sturgian kingdom is falling apart. What did I say? Uthelaim Castle is under siege again. I definitely called that. Luckily enough, it was only around 400 troops. Of course, I went in and took them out with my 600, right before they were able to get reinforcements. What's the matter? You don't have your friends to back you up anymore? The other parties in my army needed to replenish their troops. This made me disband the army and go and recruit some myself. I was getting a little bit nervous because I hadn't seen any of the Khuzait parties yet, but I kept seeing more and more Sturgian parties. Maybe it's not a bad idea to make peace with them right now and stop fighting the Sturgians because I have no idea what this new enemy was going to throw at me. That's exactly what I ended up doing. A little vote was put into play and I approved it. Even though the Sturgians were really weak, I honestly didn't know the power of the Khuzaits. So this just seemed like the best idea at the time. I then ended up promoting Samandrai the Grizzled into a noble. We really needed some more Vortian parties out on the map. Welcome to the kingdom, House Valor. Nice. They got a pretty cool flag, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, now we just need to make our way into the mountains and start taking over those castles and cities one by one. This seemed like an unfair war, because the Khuzaits had a kingdom twice the size of ours. You know what they say, pick on someone your own size. When I was creating my army, I got word that Nogan and Nadia's child was born. This was pretty exciting, because we were expanding the kingdom once more. It would be quite a while before they're actually able to serve Vortia, but the next generation of Vortians is secured. Nogan looks mad stressed. Oh, he's able to go in. Time for the big reveal. The baby looks healthy, and so does Nadia. That's awesome. Well, we're back to reality now. Time to continue this war and take out the Khuzaits. I'm happy we got to have that special moment, especially during the middle of a war. That doesn't happen too often. Literally the first castle that I saw, I decided to siege. Its name was Takor Castle. I've never heard of this one before, but I guess we're gonna take it over. I then ended up doing exactly what all of my royal advisors tell me not to do. I sent my troops in to take care of the castle siege for me. This was a terrible idea, because I went from having around 800 troops to now only having 350. Welp, that was probably the worst decision I could have made. A huge army of 971 Khuzaits made their way over to Takor Castle. I was able to sneak in right before they started sieging it. That made me happy because it at least gave us a fighting chance against these guys. Vlandia is breaking the alliance with Vortia. What the heck, why? I really hope that they're not planning on attacking us. I guess that's really the least of our worries right now. I gotta win this outnumbered castle siege. Alright, bring the ammo, bring the ammo. Nice. Let's go. Just gotta get the siege tower now. Nice. Surprisingly enough, we were able to take out all of the enemy siege equipment. Now they just had ladders, which really weren't that reliable, especially for taking over an entire castle. Whoa, 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 what are you guys doing? I almost just died there. If winning the siege wasn't so important, I would have those guys beheaded for that. Despite taking out all of the enemy siege equipment with the explosive ammo, we still had some left. This was ideal because I did my usual thing of throwing the explosive ammo directly at the enemies. I was getting super concerned at this point because the enemies just kept coming and coming. It seemed like there was no end in sight. I didn't have any more explosive ammo, but what I did have was crossbow bolts and a spear. I guess I'll make it count. Wait, what the heck? Are the enemies on the walls? Yes, they are. Uh-oh. Well, this is a little bit nerve-wracking. Hopefully we can contain them only near the ladders. That ended up not happening. The enemies were able to slip past the guards on the left-hand side and get behind them. To make sure they didn't do any flanking, I ended up going behind the enemies that were behind my men until some more reinforcements could arrive. Alright, things are back under control. All of the Sturgians that were outside of the castle started running away. The ones that made it onto the walls just completely froze. Well, that's a weird way to surrender. The thing is, I wasn't having it. I was so fed up with fighting all of these wars that at this point, I was giving them no mercy. Yes, I know it's a cruel thing to do, but honestly, it's the only way to teach them not to mess with us. Thankfully, we beat that army. It should be some time until they come back with more. I guess I was wrong about that. What? Where did all these guys come from? Right as I saw that huge party, I immediately took off running. I also called all of the Vortian parties nearby to rejoin my army. Alright, it looks like we're gonna have to take this guy out first. My strategy this time was to have all of my troops stay back, while I had them hidden in between some rocks. Alright men, stay here until I say. It wasn't long until the enemies made their way into my infantry. That was when I had my cavalry flank from the side, and we were now in business. After quite some time, I made my way over to the enemy backline. And surely enough, I took out as many archers as possible. Nice, I didn't even break a sweat. Well, we took out that army of 200, now we just need to deal with another 700. Alrighty, no pressure at all. This is just like every other castle siege we fought off. Right? Let's see, maybe for once I'll let somebody else shoot the catapult. Nope, get off, you missed your first 2 shots. I really shouldn't have let that random soldier man the catapult, just because it wasted our precious time. Now I have no idea if we're gonna even be able to take out this battering ram. Just a bit closer. Wait, what the heck's going on? Why are they running away? They still outnumber us by quite a bit. I guess I'm not gonna complain. The enemies were fleeing the battlefield. I was trying to piece together why they would do something like that. And then on top of it, it looked like they cornered themselves completely. Things could not have gone any more perfect. The enemies basically bottled their own siege, and now I had reinforcements pulling up. This made me even more baffled on why they abandoned the siege. Oh, maybe they saw my reinforcements coming and knew they would be surrounded. That might be it. It was pretty nice that the city of Balgard was just right next to us, and the enemies didn't control it. So I was able to go there and sell goods and recruit new troops. We've low-key got the perfect setup over here. Oh cool, I got a new perk. Plus 20 effect from boosting projects in governed cities? That's crazy. Alright, we can finally go and check out the enemy lands. Ah, who's this? Maybe we could get a mercenary. After talking to a potential mercenary, I realized that there was another huge army of 650 heading right towards us. Where are these guys getting the money for all of these troops? Back to Takor Castle, I guess. That was quick. I sent out a messenger to go and talk to that one clan that might serve as mercenaries. Luckily enough, they said yes and started serving the Kingdom of Vortia as mercenaries. Hey, I can bring them into my giant army. This time, instead of sneaking into the castle and defending it, I decided to wait outside and rally as many Vortian troops as I possibly could. Let's go, baby. This is about to pay off. we're going to have almost the same amount of troops as they have. This battle was 808 on our side versus 801 on the enemy side. You know what that means? We're going to win this battle, because any time that we have an even amount of troops on both sides of the battle, it technically means that we're at advantage, because I'm that good of a leader. Jeez, I'm on fire right now. I think I hit like 4 people in a row. Oh no, I'm completely surrounded again. I gotta sneak out of this thing. This isn't gonna be a decisive victory. I honestly have no idea who's actually winning this right now. All I do know is I need to stop messing around and take out more troops. These archers look like prime targets. Right as I started losing a bit of hope, we started to gain reinforcements. Let's go. Thankfully the white bar is going up. And now we outnumbered the enemies. I regained full confidence that we were gonna win this battle now. I actually had no clue that we had more reinforcements coming and the enemies had none. It's their last stand. Let's take them out, boys. Both of our front lines had collided. It ended up only being a matter of seconds until the Khuzait started to retreat. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty pathetic. Now they're just running away, with no honor. We did it, only losing 180. It looks like some of the enemies got away though, only 22 to be exact. Well, they didn't go very far. Okay, now surely we get a break from fighting, at least for a little while, right? If it's not one thing, there's always another. I'm not marrying Aldo away. Wow, a peace proposal already? That's kind of unexpected. You think I would accept the proposal, but I actually ended up declining. These guys wanted a war, alright. I'm gonna give them one. Of course, right as I was rallying my troops and about to do something epic like a castle siege, I got some pretty unfortunate news. The Sturgians declared war on us again. It looks like we won't be showing the Khuzaits up anytime soon. I ended up sending them a peace offer because I hate fighting 2 wars at the same time, and also I knew they would accept. To be completely honest, this actually works out. My initial goal was to take out the Sturgians, and now I actually can do it. I'm going to assume if these guys declared war on me, then they definitely have a lot of troops ready, because last time we were completely smoking them, so they know that I'm not here to mess around. I know that these guys are gonna run away from me. If they can just get baited in, I might be able to corner them just like that. You guys have nowhere to run. Talking about not being able to run, there was another Sturgian party that was slowed from raiding one of my villages. That's what I call unfortunate timing for you, buddy. Oh no, it looks like a couple of villages are being raided over there. There's an army of 325 heading for one of our castles as well. I had a pretty genius plan that was foolproof, and it worked out perfectly. I waited a little while, and then the enemy Sturgian army headed straight to the castle of Takor. They were stuck in place, and surely they wouldn't fight an army of around 900, so this was the perfect way to lure them in. I would probably already say that we're winning this war. The great city of Balgard was starting to look pretty appealing, so I set up a little siege camp right outside of it. I started to employ my usual siege plan, which was getting all of the ballistas built and then deploying them all together. That wasn't until I noticed another army heading towards Takor Castle. Okay, 500 more coming in. That makes sense. 867 versus 848. This is going to be close. I'm going to have to fight it out. I quickly rode over to the enemy front lines. Oh my, that is a lot of troops. Well, I guess I can't be afraid of them. I'm going to have to get up close and personal to take out some of these horsemen. No fear. I ended up riding around and taking out as many horsemen as I possibly could. It ended up taking me over 20 minutes, which is insane. I just skipped ahead to the good parts for you guys. Alright, back in character. I told my men to approach, very slowly but surely. The second my archers got in range, they started volleying arrows at the enemies. Now that's one good looking army. I tried to bait the Sturgians into charging at us by setting up my horsemen a little bit and then bringing them back. I also had my archers move forward as well. Oh, is it actually working? Oh no, they're just repositioning. Once I felt that we had done enough damage, I pulled my archers back and told my cavalry to follow me. Let's take out what's left of their horsemen, and then they'll only have infantrymen left, since we took out all of their archers with our archers. It wasn't long until the enemy horsemen folded under the superior Vortian cavalry. Alright men, we only have one job left. Hit them from the side. I had my horsemen come charging in to the enemy's right side. We had our infantrymen directly in front of them as well. I really don't think that they're going to be able to hold out for too long. Maybe a few minutes max. My coordinated assault is way too overpowered. That blue bar just keeps dropping and dropping, just the way I like it. Well, my part in this battle's done. Now I just get to watch my troops show off their training. Per usual, I disbanded the army so that way the different parties could go and restock their troops. That might have not been the best idea. I forgot that they have to go through Sturgian lands to get to the Vortian lands, which could potentially be very dangerous. Come on, this rock bridge is pretty much getting all of my parties captured. Quite a bit of time had gone by now. I was ready to bring the army back together. It seemed like quite a few of my generals had been captured. Thankfully enough, there were still enough parties to raise a pretty large army. This is going to be crazy if I catch this party. No way. Imagine getting outrun by 579 troops. Once I brought as many Vortians together as I could, I contemplated sieging Balgard. The city just had way too many defenders, so I made my way into the Sturgian lands, or what was left of them at least, and started sieging Takor Castle. This seemed like a pretty good target, because I knew I would be able to liberate the city and have troops left over. Alrighty, that one ballista is almost done, let's put these other two down. Now we just sit here and wait until the walls are breached. It honestly felt like it was taking longer than usual. Just need that last wall. Nice. I was given the option to decide if I wanted to keep Takor Castle for myself, or have it be determined who gets it by voting. I figured that I would give it to myself, and hold on to it until I find a new companion that can join the Vortian kingdom. There were tons of small Sturgian parties scattered throughout. I was trying to clean them up. No way that guy just juked me that hard. Anyways, I was taking out every single Sturgian party that I saw, just because I needed to make sure they weren't going to band together and form a large army like they did before. Let's bring in the troops. We've taken out quite a few parties. We should be good to attack now. Right as I thought most of the Sturgian parties were taken care of, I came across at least 10 of them. Look at all these little parties. They're almost like ants. Ain't no way they were all able to scatter far enough besides this one party. Well, would you look at that? Another castle that I could take over, especially with 750 troops. I wanted to minimize our losses on this siege, so I decided to use the ladder strategy. No siege equipment, just ladders, and my troops bum rushing. I put all of my soldiers to the right side and me in the middle. There happened to be a catapult directly in the center of the castle, but the nice thing was it didn't have a very big field of view, so my troops all the way to the right were able to approach the castle unscratched. Well, I guess that's not really true. The enemies were still shooting arrows at us. Alright men, scale the walls! Weirdly enough, the enemy was doing some strange strategy. They kept running away from us and then back towards us, charging all of the troops that came down the stairs. Maybe this is a way to lure out a little bit of our troops at a time and then completely take them out and just keep redoing it? I have no clue. Oh, they're doing it again. This time it doesn't look like they're... Oh, never mind, they're coming back. I am so confused on their strategy. Alright, at least this holdout actually makes sense. Too bad it didn't last for very long. I ended up finding myself in an awkward situation. Me and this one troop went upstairs to secure the catapult, but unfortunately there were still the catapult operators up there. I was outnumbered now 2-1. I had my spear, which is terrible for close quarters, but thankfully the enemies kept backing up, and I was able to hold off until I got some more backup. This castle belongs to us now. After securing the walls, we still had to head inside and take over the keep. So I grabbed some of my best soldiers and we went in. Alright, it looks like they set up a little pathway for us that we have to go through. That's the only way we're going to be able to take out all of these enemies. This is going to be their last stand. Up the stairs, up the stairs. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Huh? There's only 2 up here? I was honestly expecting a lot more. Oh, I guess there's 3. Well, not anymore. We did it. We took over the castle. we were now only a few more settlements away from taking out the Sturgians.